Hey guys, it is time for more information about the new Janome Continental M17. This machine has been one that's been taking us by storm here at Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum, and we have it in all 4 of our stores and we'd love to show you. But since you're not there right now, I thought I would share some of the cool engineering things that have been built into this machine. Janome has really done a lot of ingenuitive and new things with this machine, so we really wanted to share it with you and show you how cool they are. So first off, one of the things that I love about this machine right here is it actually has a brushless motor. And what's so nice about that is it gives you really strong piercing power. But not only that, but the motor itself is made to last about 30 years, which that is just incredible. As you all know, those older sewing machines lasted a nice long time. The machines that we sell here are done for that too, but the brushless motor really ensures that you've got a machine that will last you quite a long time and have quite some longevity with it. Now, some of the other kind of fun features in general with this machine, first off, is going to be the lid. So a lot of machines that close, you kind of have to lift up the lid yourself. On this one, there's just an open button right here that you push, and it does it for you. So that's pretty neat. I also like the spool pins tuck in over here, nice and gently. There's actually a little lever that I can put right there, and they spring right up. And then I can... there we go. Lift up my thread stand if my arms aren't too short, so that way I can use those bigger spools of thread and just be on my way. It also has an independent bobbin winding motor as well, so it's nice to have both pegs, not only for doing twin needle work, but for also winding your bobbins while you're embroidering or in the middle of sewing something and you realize your color is almost out. It's nice to be able to do that independently. There is one other little compartment hidden in the back here, which is cool because you'll notice there's a couple of magnets on the lids, and in that back compartment they hide little stitch cards. So if you have a specific section that you really like, such as I think the seasons stitches are pretty cute, you can put the little stitch card with all your seasons and magnet it right there. But you can also put your scissors or small little pins or wonder clips and have those stick up to the lid too, so that they're not rattling around on your table, which is really nice. And with that brushless motor, it doesn't vibrate hardly at all, so it's pretty impressive. To go on to more functionality on the machine, the big screen is absolutely beautiful. And on this big screen, we've got 3 different categories here. We've got ordinary sewing, we've got sewing application, and we've got embroidery. So ordinary sewing mode is going to look just like this, where you can go in and choose your basic sewing functions on the machine. So if you know what you're doing, you don't need too much help or whatever, you can just go to the sewing mode and you're good to go. Now, if I go back home and go to sewing application mode, if you press the right part, there we go. What is cool is that there are sewing techniques, there's quilting techniques, and there's optional feet techniques. So if I go here, I can go ahead and go, okay, well, maybe the next thing I want to do is going to be seaming a woven fabric. And it's going to be a medium, so I can pick that. It tells me what presser foot I'm going to do, if I want to backstitch or do a lock stitch. All of that information is there. And it also talks with the secondary screen that's on the machine, which is right here. So with that secondary screen, you can actually adjust your needle position or stitch width, your stitch length, your tension, your presser foot pressure. All of that is on this extra little screen here, in addition to you being able to adjust that stuff here on that screen, or even use your little dials right here. So there are pretty much every function on the machine has more than one way to think about it, and I love that because all of us think differently, and some of us like a knob better than a screen, and some of us like a sliding dial better than plus and minuses. So you've got all of those different options built right here to make your life easier. Not to mention, when you're sewing, it's a lot easier to reach here versus all the way over here. And with that, there's also a brand new little thumb wheel that they added into the machine too, right here. And that thumb wheel is really nice because with your thumb, it will raise and lower the needle for you, which is great, especially if you're trying to start a seam right on the corner or get your needle threader in the right position or replace your needle. because you can actually fit your hand down here to do all of that, and you can move that thumb screw to get it in the right spot for you, which is really great. I also love, just like most Janomes do, they made it so you can open up this door here, and if you have a bind in your take-up lever or anything like that, you can get it out nice and easily without having to struggle. And there's a spot for your magnifier to fit as well, so if you need that little extra oomph to see by the needle, it works beautifully. And then let's get to more of the embroidery and the needle plates of the machine as well. So with the needle plates, you do have your lock button, and to release the needle plate, it's nice and easy because all I have to do is press that and it will lift it up. It comes with 3 needle plates, your zigzag, your straight stitch, and your high performance. And after a few seconds, it will do just what it did right there and suck the needle plate back down if you haven't replaced it, or put it in the position that when you put your new needle plate on, it'll go right down. The other cool thing that they've built into the bottom as well is that the bobbin sensor is insanely accurate. It's actually done by a laser. So when the machine tells you you're out of thread, you can believe it. There's some machines that will tell you you're out of thread and you're like, I got a little while. No, this one, it is not kidding. You're almost out of thread. So I love the fact that it is no joke and knows exactly what's going on. Now let's talk about embroidery a little bit. First off, Janome did an amazing thing and made one of the largest single hooping hoops in the industry. It's going to be 11 inches by 18.1 inches long, which this is incredible. It's always nice to have that nice big area because then you can do a lot of things, do the back of jackets really easily, do a medallion for the center of a quilt. There's so many different options that you can do with it. And then there's these little magnets and clips right there. So they're actually clips where you can hook your fabric onto if you want to do quilting in the hoop or things like that. It helps keep things secure. The other thing, they do have the spring-loaded hoops. So every single one of the hoops with this machine is going to have this on at least one corner, if not both, so that you can hoop your hoops a lot easier and also release it easier too. And then on the back, especially on this big hoop, one thing is that sometimes they feel like they bounce around as they're stitching. Janome didn't like that. So they added, they added these little things to the back of it so that it glides nice and smooth over the bed of the machine and doesn't scratch it. So I thought all of that was just ingenious for them to add to the machine. They also made these little parts up here that you can replace. They've got storage, and they've got a small size and a larger size. So the larger size will make it so that that big hoop is still supported even more. So I love that they did that because it also gives you a bigger area for your flat surface sewing as well. And then the last thing is how the embroidery arm was actually engineered. First off, you can probably tell that this guy is pretty large, which is kind of nice because you've got lots of room to work with, and it does tuck to the side and let you sew with the embroidery arm on. But it's actually made with a series of gears versus belts. So the gears are less likely to break or stretch over time, and therefore, just like the brushless motor, it's made to last you pretty much forever. So there are so many fun extra little things that they've added on the engineering side of this machine, and even just listening to it stitch, you can hear and feel the difference. We always would love to show you when you come into the store, so please feel free to join us, and we'll show you all of the different presser feet and motors and everything else that's in it too. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time.